Hello there, and thank you for joining us. The Designated Pundits, we are back. It is MLS Matchday 33, and we have some great picks from around the league. And as we predicted, the last few weeks have been a little bit unpredictable. Player movement, you had teams starting new lineups, players. It was weird. Last week and the last 2 weeks have been the strangest weeks in Major League Soccer that I have ever seen, but I feel great heading into this week, and that's because there's a lot of road teams for me that are favorites, and you kind of get better odds when you like the guys on the road. I think the last few weeks had some really bad home teams coming up with some really big upsets. We're not going to talk about those tonight because it's been such a layoff, but we do have some picks in 10 of the 15 matches that are going on this week. I'm Bob here with Deon and Scott. We are the Designated Pundits. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you find us on your favorite podcast platform, on YouTube, Spotify, now with video. Gentlemen, how you doing?
Doing great. Happy to be back.
That's been same here.
It's been a little bit of a layoff. We are back. I'm wearing my Italian jersey today for my boys not getting blown out by Israel and actually making the World Cup. You know, that's a small step for one of the traditional soccer powerhouses, but we are there, I guess. Okay, let's head over now to our plays. Atlanta United, they're hosting the Columbus Crew. Atlanta, 5 wins, 11 draws, and 12 losses on the season. The Columbus Crew, 12 wins, 10 draws, and 6 losses. Almost exactly backwards, flip-flopped on the roster there, on the season long. This game's going to be at Mercedes-Benz Stadium at 7:30. Let's take a look at the odds here. Atlanta United, plus 160 to win. The draw is at plus 270. Plus 145 is the away odds. For the over-under on 2.5 goals, minus 200 for the over, plus 154 for the under. Look like the sportsbook thinks this is going to be a higher scoring game, one of the highest on the slate, to be fair. One official play, it is myself. Now, I've had some luck betting against Atlanta in the past few weeks. Right, Deon? They're not really in good form, although they got a weird win last week, right?
Yeah, their last match day got a win against Nashville at Geodis Park, which was very very odd with how good Nashville has been at Geodis Park.
I believe that was a 1-0 win, if I remember correctly.
That is correct, yeah.
And that takes me to my official play. My official play here is that one of these teams is getting blanked. Atlanta has only 32 goals in 28 games. They're better at home, but they were just blanked at home by Toronto a little bit ago. Crew, they have 18 goals on the road in 14 matches. They're not exactly lighting it up there either. Now, both teams to score 23% of the time when Columbus is on the road. That's pretty low. But that goes up to 36% when they draw or win. And that's what I think is going to be the likely case here. Atlanta, both teams to score only 71% of the time, including being shut out by the Revs, Red Bull, Philly, Toronto, shutting out Toronto and Red Bull. This is a good team, bad team matchup. I'm not sure if it's Atlanta who's going to take the nil, but I think someone is going to, and I'm getting plus 175, starting it with a heater, plus 172 odds. How are we feeling about the both teams to score no? Now, generally, you could play like Crew win to nil, or say Atlanta's not the team that's not going to score. But this way, let's say Atlanta does what they did last week, and they keep it low scoring, but take the win. Okay, maybe Columbus, on a very, very slight off chance, they're the ones who play to nil. Both teams to score no, plus 172. Scott, do you have any thoughts on that?
Not really. I could see somebody getting blanked in this. I don't think it's Columbus, though.
That is fair. That is the way it goes. But, however, sometimes the insurance is against a fluke result like that, and we could have used that like last week when we bet on Surge to score and they got blanked, and Atlanta to lose and they won. Weird stuff happens. Next up, we have Charlotte hosting Miami. This is going to be a really interesting one for me. 16-2-11 for Charlotte, while Inter Miami is 13 wins, 7 draws, and 5 losses. This is Saturday, September 13th, 2025, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Bank of America Stadium. Looking at the odds, Charlotte plus 155 and Inter Miami plus 150. These odds have been back and forth all week long, and I expect them to walk a little bit before the game gets started. Plus 270 if you favor the draw. Over under 2.5 goals, minus 220 for the over. We talked 3 weeks ago about the over on 2.5 goals being kind of a dead market. You just kind of can't bet that unless it's part of a bigger bet. So let's see what we have in store for this one. Scott and Alex have official plays. You kind of back what Alex has a little bit. Alex took Charlotte plus 155. You're just being a little more creative.
Yeah, I don't super love just betting against Miami all the time, but also Charlotte's going to miss a few pieces. It looks like Pep Biel's questionable. Let's see now. Somebody else was questionable that I was looking at. You'll have to excuse me. My notes are a little scattered today. Toklamati's questionable. Deon's questionable. So a couple of key pieces there. So I'm just taking Charlotte on a double chance, but I think this is a game with goals in it. Charlotte has established kind of a new identity this season with a more prolific offense, and then Miami's just a hard team to shut down at any time. And I think they are going to have probably something to prove. I know emotional investment doesn't always go the farthest in these conversations, but after that loss to Seattle, I think they're going to be a team looking to get back on the right track. They'll have some fire. Anyway, I think Charlotte is too good for that, but I took the double chance just in case. But I see goals, double chance, and over 2.5.
I see goals too. The Pep Biel missing some time. We're not sure what his availability is going to be. That has me running a little bit scared, and that's probably what's keeping me off of an official play. What I'm did for this week, and we probably should have talked about that a little earlier. If a player was gone on international break abroad, I counted them as being absent or fatigued. But if they were in the North or South America, I have them as if they're playing. So, it's really hard to get exactly what's going to happen. I know we're going to talk about Cincy. One of the reporters saw Denke walking around oh, he's back, and that stuff's always good. But that's how I'm playing it. You could approach it a little differently because we really don't know, and we're not going to know until Friday night exactly the availability here. Deon.
Yeah, on this one, I couldn't find anything that I like, but that play that Scott has, I kind of like because Charlotte with a double chance. I mean, Charlotte have won 11 matches at home this year. Inter Miami have been inconsistent on the road. I mean, that's a big thing that sticks out to me, but it just depends on what Miami shows up. Is it going to be the team that we all know that they can be, or is it going to be this mediocre team that goes to Audi Field and draws with DC United?
Not great. And that's what we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what's going to set up, but we do know that Suarez won't be there. He's suspended for how many MLS games was it? I know you were keeping a very, very, you were angry tweeting MLS about this situation, Deon.
Yeah. MLS only suspended him for 3 games. But I'm more mad about them not suspending the other Inter Miami players. And then the guy that got spit on he can't be on the field for the rest of the year. It's not even a player, and he's the one that got spit on, and you're going to make it where he's not on the field for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
Angus stopping and saying Suarez being in the game is to IMF's advantage. Ooh, okay. Getting a little spicy there with the Luis Suarez hate. But I guess, last year, remember when his knee magically grew back and fused itself together? And then this year he's not playing so well. So I do like that. Next up, FC Cincinnati hosting Nashville FC. Cincinnati 16 wins, Nashville 15 wins. This is one going down at TQL Stadium. This is going to be a really fantastic match, and I needed to get involved with the betting here. So I did. FC Cincinnati plus 165, Nashville plus 150, the draw plus 250. Over under 2.5 goals, minus 140 for the over, plus 110 for the under. I think that this is going to be the game of the week. These are two teams that are, primed in playoff position. I think Cincy can put themselves, they're in first place pretty solid. Nashville with a win though can jump over FC Cincinnati and take the 2 spot depending on what happens with Charlotte. Cincinnati cannot move up no matter what. I think that makes it a little. The pressure's on Nashville. The pressure's on Nashville in this one for sure, and they're on the road. You see that plus 150 odds. I like that a lot, but I'm not doing it. I'm taking actually both teams to score, no draw. While since he struggled at home, Nashville is also in a little bit of a rut. They're 1-4 in their last 5. That's their worst stretch of the season by a lot. They're conceding on the road, allowing 6 goals in their last 3 matches. I think this is going to be a high-scoring one, but I think that there's enough emotion, there's enough weighing on this in the playoff picture that we do see a winner. Both teams to score, no draw. Not a play I play very often. Plus 122. Gentlemen, any thoughts?
Oh, Scott, you're on mute.
Scott, you are muted.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's so embarrassing. This is like classic office behavior. No, I find it hard to bet against like Sam Surridge to score, but if there was ever a game to do it, it could be this one. Cincy's defense just isn't that thing that it was, in years past.
Yeah. Well, Nwobodo being out, I think that is, a bigger part of the midfield than maybe we're giving it credit for. Now they have Evander who is not running back. He's not trying to make those plays, which is sad because I think he actually has it in him. I think Evander could be a really good 2-way midfielder. Obviously, you don't want that from him. Cincinnati, now they have Marchuk, Evander. It's just not the same in the midfield. And I think that's where you're going to find a little bit of an advantage for Nashville. Tag Seth, the Asbeck guys we've talked about on the show just time and time again. Deon, do you have a lean in this one?
No, not really, because really Cincinnati in their last 5 home matches, they have only won 1 and lost 3. They're on a 3-match losing streak there at home, and then I think you brought it up already that Nashville in their last 5 road matches is a win and 4 losses, currently on a 4-match losing streak. So I liked what Nashville were doing, and they just kind of hit rock bottom. But both of these teams can clinch playoffs with this. I don't know if you guys saw that where they released the different scenarios, but really, if either one of the teams win this, they pretty much clinch with a couple other things, other games involved. But I think this is going to, like you said, I think this is going to be the game of the week. I would lean maybe a little bit towards Cincinnati just because they're home in this one, just because of the 2 forms of these teams. But I couldn't find anything that I liked in this one.
With Cincinnati, their top 2 strikers, Kevin Denke, I think just returned to the United States today. Brenner, maybe not quite acclimated with his new squad. Moving now, as DC United hosts Orlando City. DC United 5 wins, 9 draws, 15 losses. Orlando City 13 wins, 8 draws, and 7 losses. This is also a 7:30 match at Audi Field. Looking now towards the odds, DC United plus 220 to win, Orlando City plus 110 as the heavy road favorites in this one. Over under 2.5 goals, minus 164 if you like over 2.5 goals, plus 128 if you like a lower goal total. And you got the team totals, which were really interesting to me. DC United plus 146 to score twice, while Orlando is minus 120 to score twice. And that kind of shows the form here. DC United is bad everywhere, and Orlando is actually one of the better teams on the road in the league. We have 4 official plays. Everyone here, even Alex is ghost picking on this one, and he also had an Orlando play. We were all rushing. We couldn't put our money down on the table to bet against DC United fast enough. Scott, why don't you take us away first?
I just want to follow the trends of these teams. Orlando is good on the road. DC's kind of bad everywhere. So I'm picking Orlando. I'm really following the Charlotte, playbook that I laid down before, though. I just want to protect myself a little bit from weird things, because DC has done weird things to other teams, and Orlando just got rolled by Nashville. Nashville's way better than DC. These are not equivalents, but Orlando got beat 5-1 by Nashville. That was very uncharacteristic. So I'm taking Orlando on a double chance, but I think goals in this game. I really do. So I'm pairing that with an over 2.5. And I like that, but I strongly favor Orlando in this matchup.
Now, DC United, they are not in the Golden Boot lead, in the Wooden Spoon lead. That is LA Galaxy. Actually, they're quite a bit ahead there, 4 points ahead there, but trying to get out of the basement of the Eastern Conference. Deon, you also had some faith in Orlando.
Yeah, I mean, this one I went with Orlando. I think I liked the odds on this one was a plus 115, is what it was whenever I looked at it this morning. Just everything points to Orlando. Scott talked about it, Nashville beating them 5-1 in their last match. I was a little weary. That kind of made me think about it for a few more seconds than what I probably should have. But Orlando, it's everything that I have is pointing towards Orlando. And Scott, I do like your extra play of did you put under 2.5 or over 2.5?
Oh, over 2.5. I think goals.
Yeah,
Orlando could cover this by themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that too. I see this one being like a 2-1 or a 3-1 in favor of Orlando. But yeah, that plus 110, you can't beat it for how good Orlando is compared to DC.
Now, Orlando did have some players traveling, Brekalo, Pasalic, Spicer, but so did DC United with Peltola, Rolls. When you look at the player availability, each team has a pivotal player involved in the suspension. Muriel will miss this game with a suspension, and more importantly for DC, Herrera, the lone bright spot on that roster this season, will be missing for this match. 4 official plays. 3 on Orlando at plus 110, Deon. 110. And by the time we actually bet on this, if you don't have your money down on the table already, it'll have walked another 5 points. And Orlando double chance and over 2.5 for Scott at minus 105.
Hey, it was 115 this morning on DraftKings.
Oh, it was. And it was probably 120 yesterday. Now headed to Chicago, where the Fire host NYCFC. Chicago, 12 wins, 6 draws, 10 losses. NYCFC, 13 wins, 5 draws, and 9 losses. This is going to be a really interesting one for me. When we look at the odds, we see that Chicago Fire plus 105, NYCFC plus 230. That seems a little off for me. So I saw that right away, and I'm like, okay, I need to dig deeper and see what I can pull out. Over under 2.5 goals, minus 184 for over 2.5 goals. That seems like a bargain to me. Plus 142 for the under. Team total, Chicago minus 130 for over 1.5 goals. NYCFC plus 142 for over 1.5 goals. So there's a lot of different ways we can go with this, a lot of different plays, a lot of different ways we can kind of shake this. There are 2 official plays, myself and Deon. Deon, you took NYCFC on the draw no bet at plus 145.
Yeah, I went with that. I like NYCFC better than I do Chicago Fire. I feel like the Fire are very inconsistent at home. But I do think it's funny that there are 5 wins, 5 draws, 4 losses, where NYCFC on the road are 4 wins, 5 draws, 5 losses. So they're very much right on par with each other. And I don't know. I felt like NYCFC are the better side. Yes, they did lose. They did lose at home to DC United in their last match. But I think that we're going to see goals in this one. And I could see this one being like a 3-2 or a 2-2. And I just like NYCFC better than the Fire. There's really no reasoning behind it. I don't have any like statistics that pointed out more, but I also like the plus 145. And if it's a draw, I get my money back.
Yeah, I was right kind of on that same one with you, but I wanted just a different way to get involved. I like the goal total. I wanted like 3.5 goals. I was trying to do all this like fancy stuff. I'm taking the New York City team total over 1.5 goals. The graphic says 142. I got it at 136 a little earlier in the week. NYFC has their road offense. They come alive this summer. They beat Dallas 4-3 in Dallas. They beat Orlando 2-1, scoring in bunches on offense. Chicago, they allowed 50 goals in 28 matches. They beat New England last week by a 3-2 scoreline. That covers 2 goals. And they beat St. Louis City 3 weeks ago by 3-2 at home. They're conceding goals. NYCFC, for me, they're like 50-50. This is like a 50-50 shot, but at plus 136, you're getting a fantastic price. And that kind of is the advantage for me on what the sportsbook has here. Again, graphics says 142 here, but when we click out to the official plays, you'll see NYCFC team total over 1.5 goals, plus 136, and NYCFC draw no bet at plus 145. Scott, can we get you on board with any type of pro NYCFC bet?
No, actually. Chicago, in their last 5 games, 4 of those are home games. They have 3 wins and a draw. Look, okay, I don't have like a ton of really deep stuff, but Chicago's starting to figure that out. And they're a very dangerous team. Yes, I think that if all the chips are just down on the table, all things being equal, I prefer NYCFC. I think they as a team have a little bit more to give than Chicago. But if Chicago gets Zinkernagel and Kuiper going, Gutman off the wing, like they're a very dangerous team. If they can put a couple quick ones in and NYCFC is playing out of a hole, that game is over.
It could be over like 7-2, and I would be happy.
Sure. Yeah, so I think that's the thing. I worry a little bit about that. I think if NYCFC, I think they need to score 2 goals if they want to get something out of this game. I really would struggle to see a 1-0 game, even though that would really favor New York.
I do agree on all those points. 2 official plays. NYCFC team total over 1.5 goals at plus 136. NYCFC draw no bet at plus 145. Both very nice plays. And actually, the 145, Deon's cooking with fire over there on that one. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
FC Dallas, they're hosting Austin in a Copa Tejas match this week. 7 wins, 10 draws, 11 losses for Dallas. They are firmly outside the playoff picture. Austin, they are in it. 11 wins, 8 draws, and 9 losses. This is going to be an 8:30 game. Looking at the odds, plus 130 for Dallas to win, plus 190 for Austin to win. Over under 2.5 goals, a little bit of uncertainty. Minus 136, that's one of the weakest lines we've seen today. Plus 106 for the under. Home over under 1.5, plus 112 to the over, minus 142 for the under. Austin is almost exactly flipped, 142 in the plus for the over 1.5 goals, and minus 184 for the under 1.5 goals. Me and Deon have official plays, and they are opposite. You go first.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a second. What are you? I am going Austin in this one. I liked the Austin draw no bet at plus 105. Austin, it's crazy to think that Austin is as good as they are this season with how many times we've talked, like, not badly about them, but like they're drawing and only winning games by 1. We expected them to score a lot, I think, is what it was at the beginning of the year. And I went with Austin because they're playing pretty well right now. 11 wins on the season, 6 on the road. Dallas are not doing anything at home. 3 wins, 3 draws, 8 losses on the season. Yes, you could say their last 5 has been pretty decent with 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses, coming off of a good draw against LAFC at home. But for some reason, if it stays low scoring, and I think that this game could be, I could see Austin winning like 1-0, and that gets the job done for me. Even though they have been averaging about 2 goals, allowing 1, it's I don't know. I feel like with the way Dallas look at home, I got to go with Austin in this one.
For me, it also comes down to player availability. Dallas is going to be without Martin Pace. That stinks. Pomacall is going to be questionable. Austin, however, have 5 players currently listed as out. Those players are Cascante, Pereira, Svatok, Uzuni, and of course, Brandon Vasquez. That to me is enough. I mean, you're going to start Bakari and Obrian up top. Like, what are you even going to do to get this Austin team across the line? For me, it's really like Uzuni, because I think he was really coming on a little bit hot. I think he's been playing good ball recently.
Uzuni's the only name in that matters to me. I'll be honest.
Okay. I think that's fair too, but that also is a reflection on Austin's roster build. They're like a mid-table team, and I don't know why.
Yeah, they put a lot of effort into some pieces that have not played out, I think.
Absolutely.
Neither here nor there.
Now has allowed 2 goals in 7 of their 14 away matches for a total of 22 goals in 14. This could be a really bizarre game, but I think FC Dallas finds the board twice. I like their offense. I like Musa. I like, Kak. He's been playing really well. I just like this squad a lot better from a Dallas standpoint, and it could be a shootout. I don't care about that. As long as FC Dallas finds the net twice. Official play, Dallas team total over 1.5 at plus 112. And Austin draw no bet at plus 105. I guess they could happen. A 3-2 Austin win is in the cards. I think this is going to be a little bit of a lower scoring one here, but we will see. 2 official plays. Moving now to the Seattle Sounders hosting LA Galaxy. Seattle Sounders, 12 wins, 8 draws, 7 losses. Trying to do what Seattle does every year, which is get hot right at the good time, rocket fuel into the playoffs, and leave with some kind of trophy on the season. LA Galaxy, they are doing what they did 2 years ago, which is winning a wooden spoon. 4 wins, 8 draws, and 16 losses. This is an 8:30 game, which I guess is late for us, but a little early for them. A little Saturday matinee, if you will. Seattle Sounders minus 240 to win. LA Galaxy plus 500 for the reigning MLS Cup champions. Over under 2.5 goals, minus 205 for the over, plus 158 for the under. Because of those odds, and I really think that the sportsbook was absolutely dialed in. The odds looked exactly like where they should have been all over the board. I couldn't make an official play. But Deon, you have an official play that I really find intriguing here.
Yeah, on this one, I did not pick a winner, but I went with both teams to score and no draw at plus 115. Both of these teams are scoring right now. Seattle at home are averaging almost 3 goals a game in their last 5 home matches, but also just last 5 matches at 2.8. And then the Galaxy are averaging about 1.5, 1.6 goals per game in their last 5. So I think that we're going to see a goal from both sides. I do heavily favor Seattle. I think Seattle are just, like you said, down the stretch. I think Seattle is going to be one of the best teams in the West. They're going to be hard to beat, especially if they play at home. But I think Galaxy can find the back of the net once, and that's all I need.
I like things about that play. However, I have to be out on Galaxy this season. I have let them burn me too many times, taking really silly bets, and they're just banged up enough. I mean, Gabriel Pecky's suspended. Paintsil is traveling from Africa for international duty. Royce is questionable. Nascimento is questionable. Garces is questionable. Julian Aude is questionable. Seattle, they've been hurt all season, and it hasn't bothered them up to this point. So I really think I'm leaning that way. I like the play. I think your bets have been really sharp today, Deon. I just am worried about the Galaxy side. If you were like over 2.5 no draw, I could definitely get on board with that because one team alone could cover. I'm not sure if Galaxy are going to be willful participants in this match. Scott, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with your analysis there. I looked at this one and I was like, Seattle's probably going to put up a bunch of goals. I bet I can find something. I struggled. I don't know what the Galaxy is going to bring to this. I almost think like if the Galaxy scores, it'll be like accidental on that level where it'll be like, wow, we did not expect that to happen. Like, I just see this. I see Seattle being completely in
Like-
control of this game.
Stefan Fry kicks the ball in the back of his net or something.
Yeah, own goal, like something weird. Center back has a banger from like 45 yards. I don't know. But Deon, I hope it happens for you.
Both teams
Thanks,
to
Scott.
score, no draw. The official play on Sounders Galaxy. Moving ahead now, the San Jose Earthquakes host LAFC. Quakes are 9-8-12, while LAFC is 11-8-7. This is also an 8:30 match. Headed for the home odds, plus 210 for the San Jose Earthquakes, plus 110 for LAFC, and plus 270 on the draw. Over under 2.5 goals, minus 205 for the over, plus 158 for the under. There are 3 official plays, myself, Scott, and Alex in this match. And I think this is going to be a really good game. I think this is going to be a sneaky good game. I don't think that this is like a clear cut one team over the other. Scott, you are taking a little prop here. Let's talk about that first.
I am. I agree with you. I think this is a sneaky good game. I think this will be a ton of fun. Both teams close to home. I didn't really want to pick a winner. San Jose at home with that high-powered offense. Anything could happen. But I have a lot of faith in LAFC's new, star signing. I think Son Heung-min has been off to a really good start. He looks comfortable with the team. He looks comfortable in the league. He looks sharp. So I'm taking him to have a goal or assist in this game. Either will do. And that's a little minus 110. I think those kind of numbers are crazy considering how sharp he's looked to start his life at LAFC. So that's where I'm going.
I like that particularly because it's not a goal. It's a goal or an assist at close to even money on a great player. Now, travel does factor a little bit into it. He did go from Korea to LA. However, I think that's probably less distance than Korea to England.
Yeah, but he played for his national team, and he actually scored against the US.
Did they travel to Korea?
Oh, you know
Or
what?
did
I don't
they
know.
play all
that.
their
He
games here?
Yeah, they might have. I'd have to look that up. I would
I
have to
don't
look
know
that
what
whether
they did
their
after
second game.
after us, but
Well,
I'm not that worried about the travel though. I'll be honest. I'm really not.
Well, we spoke
he's
about
been
that because
doing
he's
that.
done it. Yeah. My play over 3.5 goals. Let's just get goals in the back of the net. That's what these teams have been doing all season long. It's what they're going to do in this match. LFC team total over 1.5 was my aim, but it was minus 136. You can't bet on that for a road team with so many question marks. But I can say, hey, maybe LAFC is a little banged up and they can't. San Jose will willfully put 4 balls in the back of the net. LAFC could cover all 4 themselves. There's just so many different variables, so many ways this can go. I think it's a slam dunk. I have my little sportsbook model over here, and there's a clear advantage on taking the over of 3.5 goals, which you don't usually see when on that small of a number, 134. That sounds like something you would bet week 1 on an over 2.5. But here, they have proven it all season long. Alex also on LAFC in both teams to score. Deon, if you had to pick a winner, who would you take?
Oh, a winner? I would probably lean towards LAFC if I had to pick. But again, you just don't know with that offense that Earthquakes can have, but they haven't been putting up numbers like they did at the beginning of the season. And also the travel for Sun, he's traveling from Geodis Park, so they're in Nashville. He played at Geodis Park against Mexico. A couple of days ago is the last game that he played in. But I would say if I had to pick a winner, it's going to be LAFC.
All right, let's move on. And I think we have 2 more games covered here. Colorado Rapids, Houston Dynamo. Rapids 10-6-13 on the season. Dynamo 8-9-12. Looking ahead towards the odds, the Rapids are plus 105. Houston Dynamo plus 240 on the road. There's one official play. It is not from us. It is from Alex, who couldn't be here today. So let's look at his scorecard and see. He's taking the Colorado Rapids at plus 105. I like Colorado, and I don't like Houston. Houston has some weird stuff going on, too. I heard, reports that, Ponce was starting trouble with his teammates or something, or that he wasn't practicing. There was some weird story about them that came out a little earlier this week. But the Colorado Rapids, are you going to trust them at home? They really haven't been that team. In fact, my computer's a little slow pulling up the stats right now. I promise it is. I'm clicking all the boxes that are taxis right now, and the stats are going to come up. 7-2-5 at home, 20 goals and 17 goals against. So while the record shows a good team, they're only +3, and they are -10 on the season for goal differential. For me, it's
5 losses, 7 wins and 5 losses. Think about that. That's barely positive.
Yeah, not great. And 3 of those 4 wins have been 3 of those 7 wins have been in the last 4 weeks. So they were not a very good home team. They're kind of turning it around a little bit. And I just don't have the confidence. They did win 2 in a row. One was against Atlanta. That doesn't count. But their 3-0 win over Vancouver certainly does. That's a decisive win against a very good team.
It certainly is. I'm sort of with you. Colorado can be a good team at times. Losing Jordy Mihailovic doesn't help. But they can be a good team. They do have some talent offensively. Houston is a mess. I also saw stories out of them. I think you're right. I think it was Ponce. I don't want to spread rumors. Nobody sue me, but I don't really love what Houston's doing. I don't think they replaced the leadership that Hector Herrera brought to that team. And so you see them going through some of the same motions, but they lack that like internal drive to make things happen. I think that's tough. I think Colorado can and should do this. This one should hit for Alex. Deon, I don't know if you have any strong feelings.
Yeah, I mean, when did they lose Mihailovic for the Rapids? Did he play? He didn't play in either of their last 2 games, right? So the last 2 games that they've had have been losses, and pretty bad losses. I mean, Sporting Kansas City 4-2 and Galaxy 3-0. And then their win before that was against Atlanta, which, according to Bob, doesn't count.
Correct.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think he was a big player, and I think this should hit too for Alex. But at the same time, like, I feel like Colorado have been a very inconsistent side, and I think that it's going to go downhill from here for them.
Well, we're going to find out what Paxton Aronson has. Again, 2 teams here that kind of let central attackers go in the middle of this season and didn't quite replace them. Of course, Houston was in the offseason with the legendary Ache and then Colorado Rapids. 1 official play, Rapids +105. Last game here, Portland Timbers hosting the New York Red Bulls. Timbers 10-9-9. Red Bulls 11-7-11. This is a 10:30 Province Park matchup. 110 if you want to bet on Portland Timbers, +240 if you want to bet on the New York Red Bulls. -142 for the over, +112 for the under. This is exactly what I expected to see, and that's why I wanted to jump on it when I saw the bets open up. I mean, in a bubble, Red Bull, much better team. On the road, a much worse team. Red Bull are abysmal with their home-away splits, just not getting it done on the road at all. 1 official play, it goes to me. Does anyone else have a feel on this match?
Yeah, the Red Bulls are terrible on the road. This is a game that Portland should do the business. I would be looking at goal scorer props for Portland, probably, as a way to dissect this one. But kind of previewing where you're going, I don't see this being a particularly high-scoring game. I think Portland's going to have to really work for it.
Yeah, that was my thinking exactly. I was like, who is going to score? I don't think Red Bull's going to lose. I think this is like a 0-0 game. I don't think that there's much between these squads. Portland hasn't been scoring. I mean, they were so automatic last year. It was like both teams score over 2.5. Anytime Portland's on the field, just pencil it in because it's going to be a safe bet. This year, not so much. And, you know, they've battled so much with injuries, losing big players. I feel bad for them. I want to like Portland. I loved them last year. Just the consistency of the goal scoring. As a bettor, you love to see that week in and week out. Deon, you did your prediction show already. Who are you taking here?
So I'm kind of right with you on this one. I see it being a low scoring. I did pick Timbers to win 1-0 over the Red Bulls, just because both of these teams aren't scoring goals, and I really just gave the advantage to the home side. And they are actually, in their last 5 at home, they are averaging just a goal. And right now, the Red Bulls are averaging under a goal in their last 5 away matches. So I went with a low scoring 1-0 win for the Timbers, but I could easily see this being a 0-0 draw or like a 1-1 draw at max.
Timbers are relatively safe. They've got that 7 seed locked up. They can jump up to 5 with a win here. But Red Bull, they're on the outside looking in. They have 2 points behind Chicago, who has a game in hand on them. They need to move up the standings quickly to continue, like, what is it, the longest playoff streak in sports. I think Red Bull, it's going to be 0-0, 1-1, 1-0 in either direction. Seeing a low total, that does favor the away team on some flukiness. This could be a 1-0 in no one scores. Like the ball just rolls behind one of the nets. That is certainly within the realm of possibility here. Under 2.5 goals, plus 112 is the official play.
If you did want a player prop on that one, Anthony is the goal contribution leader for the team. He's got 11. That would be the guy going down the left wing there. Goal or assist.
If you want to get really sassy, you could take like a yellow card total or something in case this game gets a little chippy towards the end. I would like maybe something like that. Look at the corner kicks. Red Bull is very good piling up corner kicks too.
I'll be looking at yellow cards. Like, honestly, it's like next week when Seattle and Miami have a rematch.
What is that, Tuesday, I believe? I think it's in the midweek on a weird day. I think it's Tuesday.
If you are following along on Spotify with video or on YouTube, you can see all of our plays. Make sure you find us on social media. We're going to post this out there too if you'd like to tail on anything we've talked about here tonight. Gentlemen, it's been great getting back in the seat. I feel like we need another 5 episodes to get the rust off from taking a week and a half break. But, I appreciate your time here, and I really appreciate everyone at home checking in. Make sure you subscribe to the Designated Pundits however you listen to podcasts. Thank you, guys. Have a great night.